Damn, I hope you praying. Your dumb ass, you don't pull no triggers, you just talking. Shut your mouth and walk it. I stalk it, popping pitch with the Rockets. No Houston, you bet.
By the way, with this victory, the Golden State Warriors, as DiVincenzo knocks that down. An epic performance from Steph Curry. And such respect and love for Steve Kerr and Mike Brown, his former assistant.
The Kings sold that bag, and we could finally put a bow on round 1 of the playoffs. It's time for round 2 predictions. I told y'all this video was coming at the end of my last video. I told y'all this one will be a bit more serious-ish. Actually talking matchups, actually talking basketball, my honest thoughts, my honest opinions, not just me reacting to the events of a game. I'm not gonna react to the game 7. I know Steph dropped 50. I kind of just want to wash my hands of that series. Round 1 kind of grew a little old for me. It's a big game, Probably would have been a good reaction, but we all saw it. The whole world was tuned in, so no need. I'm gonna just hop straight into the predictions. Obviously these might be wrong, could be right. My personal opinion. If they come to fruition, I'm gonna talk my shit. If they're wrong, you won't hear from me. We're gonna start in the East Coast because that's the one that I'm kind of like, up to this point in the playoffs, for lack of a better phrase, I guess, or whatever, I'm bored with it. I feel like the West has really carried these playoffs, and the East matchups kind of seem they're a bit easier to forecast, so we're gonna get those out the way. I got a few notes written down here with my prediction, my reasons why, things of that nature. We're gonna start with Sixers Celtics. I got Celtics in 5. In large part due to, we're just gonna hop straight into reason number 1. Joel's hurt. This seems to be a yearly thing with him. He struggles a lot with his health, especially come playoff time. He has a great regular season. This is a conversation I have with a lot of people when it comes to who I think the best big man in the league is. And there's Jokic and there's Joel. In years past, I said AD. You probably won't really hear me saying AD for this year, for obvious reasons. But come playoff time, it's AD. It's AD, and I don't think you can question that, especially considering every time the playoffs roll around, Joel doesn't really play much. Jokic hasn't won anything. But as it pertains to this series, we're talking about Joel Embiid. His absence obviously is huge. It's a hurdle I don't think the Sixers are really equipped to overcome. I don't think they would have won this series with Joel. I think they would have stolen another game or 2. But losing Joel kind of just made this series a non-starter for them, really. I don't think they have the size to really bother or even match up with the Celtics for one, especially, you look on the wing, you got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown. You look down low, you got Al Horford, and you got Robert Williams, who plays 2-3 inches bigger than his actual size, and he's not a little dude by any stretch. I just don't think the Sixers have the personnel, really. I think what they rely on to make their engine go, outside of Joel Embiid, is obviously their guard play, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, guys like that. And they're running into a team, D'Anthony Melton, I guess, they're running into a team who are more than equipped to deal with that. They have a former Defensive Player of the Year in Marcus Smart. They have Derek White. Like I said, they have Jaylen Brown. They even have Jason Tatum. They have too many bodies that they can throw at the Sixers' main ball handlers, main playmakers, main scorers at this point. I don't think the Sixers really have it in them to make this a series unless Joel Embiid suits up. And they're saying that his injury is a bit more serious than once thought, which is bad because it's a knee. I believe it's his fucking PCL, LCL, RCL, TCL, one of them CLs. I don't think the Sixers are getting out of this round. I don't even think they're gonna make it entertaining. They might keep a few games close, but at the end of the day, they don't really have the necessary firepower. I really just covered a lot of the reasons into one. Celtics size, the absence of Joel Embiid. They have guards who defend. They have wings who can defend. They have multiple bodies they can throw at James Harden. And James Harden's gonna have to work on defense. He can't just take breaks now. They don't have a shot blocker like Joel Embiid behind him to just funnel guys to them and hope he makes a play and hope he stays out of foul trouble while doing so. And also, despite the Celtics being young, there aren't really too many situations, or matchups that they haven't seen with this core group. Going against LeBron, making the Eastern Conference Finals 3-4 years in a row, playing in the finals last year in a series that on paper they probably should have not only won but ran away with. And the Warriors presented a challenge similar to the one that the Sixers are trying to present now. Guards who make shots, guards who move off the ball. Less so in the Sixers case. A lot of the work that they do on the ball, coming out of pick and roll, getting into the lane, floating up shots, shooting step backs, low percentage shots. The Celtics they're the best defensive team in the league, and I think they're built to stop shit like that. Moving on, we got Heat and Knicks. Unfortunately, another series that I think has been compromised by injury. I got Heat in 6. The absence of Julius Randle in the first game obviously is, to me, a huge turning point. It allowed Miami to steal home court advantage, at least for the time being. And I think it showed in the matchup that the Knicks are not going to be able to beat this team without Julius Randle. They need another body on the boards. They need another guy who can handle the ball outside of Jalen Brunson, who can make shots and kind of impose his will on the game. I don't think you can rely on RJ Barrett so I guess I can kind of sum up the reason I'm giving here. They don't have enough consistent scoring or playmaking outside of Jalen Brunson with the injury of Julius Randle. I don't think you can rely on RJ Barrett showing up 4 times out of 7. You just can't. Emmanuel quickly, you bring him in the game for immediate scoring punch, but what happens when his shot isn't falling? You need 2. I feel like in the playoffs, especially at this point, you need at least 2 guys who you can definitively say, if I give them the ball, I know what I'm going to get out of them 8 nights out of 10, 9 nights out of 10. And in Jalen Brunson's case, I think he's reached a point where it's 10 nights out of 10. Julius Randle, maybe 8 or 9, depending on if his 3-pointer's falling. Depending upon how long Julius Randle's out for, I think dictates how many games the Knicks are able to steal. Jimmy Butler, that goes without saying. Who's going to stop Jimmy? Nobody can really stop Jimmy. I see a few things circulating on Twitter about how Jimmy is afraid of Josh. What the fuck? Jimmy's afraid of Josh Hart. Jimmy has gone at LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay. Kept everybody. Jimmy's played every fucking body. Name him. He's played him. He's went to battle with him, and in most cases, he's got the best of him. He's not worried about little old Josh Hart, which brings me to my next point. Everybody's too little. Their best defender that they have to throw on Jimmy Butler is too little. We just saw what he did to an all-defensive first-team player in Jrue Holiday, who is probably locking the fuck out of your best player, your favorite player. Jimmy Butler just treated his ass like dog food. Jrue was just too little. Jrue is a great defender. He's too little. And certain things that just you can't overcome. He's so good that you have to be a certain size to even have a shot. And Josh Hart is not the defender that Jrue Holiday is, and he's also not Jimmy's size. So there's that. Another reason would be coaching. I do think Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches ever, not let alone in this series. Tom Thibodeau has a nasty habit. I'm sure a lot of Bulls fans out there know, and even Knicks fans at this point. He has a nasty habit of overplaying guys, playing guys in moments they shouldn't even have to play. He damn near got Julius Randle hurt earlier than he actually did get hurt with this nasty habit. I also don't think Tibbs is while he is a very good defensive coach, I don't think he has the offensive prowess or the offensive creativity to overcome just how good the Heat's defense is, the switchability, the size. Bam can switch. He can guard 1 through 5 as he's tried to make known to us in his bid to win Defensive Player of the Year. It's not fucking working, so you might as well stop. Jimmy obviously is going to defend. Kyle Lowry is savvy. He's smart. He knows positioning. He knows angles. So as he's lost his quickness, he's gained in smarts. And like I said, I do think Julius Randle's eventual return, hopefully, and the mystique of playing in Madison Square Garden in front of those home fans who have been thirsty for meaningful basketball for decades, I think that combination will steal the Knicks a few games, but ultimately, the Heat are probably going to end up playing the Celtics in the conference finals. Moving on to the Western Conference. We're gonna do Nuggets Suns next. For me, this is the toughest series to forecast. But I'm gonna take. It's tough because I'm gonna get into why it's tough. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7. The reasoning being, I do think the Nuggets are the better team. I do think the Nuggets are the deeper team. I do think the Nuggets are the better coach team. But it's tough to bet against a team as top-heavy as the Suns, and not even just as top-heavy as the Suns, a team who employs Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Chris Paul. It's hard to bet against a team like that to just get to lose, let alone get destroyed, right? So I think I have to give them the benefit of the doubt in that aspect that there are going to be a few games in this series that Kevin Durant and Devin Booker just win. Straight up. Just they're going to win just off the strength of their shot making, their ability to draw fouls, and their ability to create for others. Very underrated parts of their game. I know a lot of us look at Chris Paul as that guy who makes things work on their offense and points out mismatches and exploits them, but Devin Booker's a really good passer. Kevin Durant's a really good passer. They're really trying to, force that DeAndre Ayton short roll action where he just floats the ball in the middle of the lane, trying to exploit Jokic's laziness, or not even just his laziness, his inability to kind of come up and make a play on the defensive end. But I do think at the end of the day, the sheer amount that they gutted their roster in an attempt to get Kevin Durant, and ultimately they did get Kevin, it's about to come back to haunt them right now. When you have to rely on guys like Torrey Craig and Jock Landale, Landry Shamet, Cam Payne to contend with a rotation of, I'm not even going to mention Jamal Murray and Jokic because those are givens, but Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, who just killed them, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and if need be, you can bring guys like Reggie Jackson into the game, right? You can even somebody like Christian Braun, who came in and didn't score, but he just a ball of energy, who's going to be active defensively, isn't afraid of the moment, and is going to play to that home crowd. Also, I think something needs to be said about the altitude. Playing guys like Kevin Durant and Chris Paul, who are not in the beginning half of their careers, 45 minutes a night at altitude, they're not going to say it, and they may not even look it, but believe me, that's taking a toll. When they're missing short late in games, they're missing rotations, they're a bit slow, they're tired, they're gassed, and they can't come out the game, because if they come out the game, the Nuggets are going to start blitzing them, and that's a problem. Like I said, their sheer star power is going to steal them a few games, but I don't think it's enough to ultimately win this series, especially when, in the event of a Game 7, it's going to be played in Denver. The inconsistency of DeAndre Ayton, you never know what you're going to get with him from night to night. You expect a guy who's at least good for 16 and 10, 20 and 12, right? In that range. Some nights he might give you 8 and 8. Some nights he might give you fucking 20 and 17. That inconsistency isn't going to work in the playoffs, because the night that he gives you 8 and 8, you probably lost. And in a playoff series against a team like the Nuggets, whose best qualities travel, coaching, defense, ball movement, not even necessarily just their shot making, but their ability to create good looks for themselves pretty much every time down. You need givens. You need as many givens as possible. And for what I consider to be one of your biggest pieces on your team in DeAndre Ayton, the guy that you rely on to be that enforcer in the middle, in possessions for your team, and be that safety valve for when doubles get sent at Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, because DeAndre is going to be open in the middle every time. If that floater's not falling, their offense is going to stall and they're going to go down 10, 15 points at a time. And against the Nuggets, that's not going to cut it. CP3, I don't know how much he can really give you at this point. I don't think 10 points is going to be enough. The IQ will always be there. The passing ability would always be there. But the scoring has to pick up, because on nights that Devin and Kevin aren't combining for 60, 70 points, where's the other guy going to come from? Like I said, DeAndre Ayton can't be counted on. Chris Paul is going to have to make some shots. He's going to have to get to the middle and make those shots. But when you got guys like Bruce Brown, guys like Christian Braun coming off the bench, guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, whose roles are specifically built around being a pest, those guys who don't tire, those guys who have played at altitude all year, so they're used to it, they're conditioned for it. We all saw the possession where Bruce Brown, the 2 possessions in a row in under a minute, where Bruce Brown plucked Kevin Durant. Those plays are gonna expect them to continue to happen. Those guys in the league that just have the motor, and that's something you can't teach, and that's something that Chris Paul is gonna have to deal with, and he's gonna have to find a way to overcome, which he may, but I don't foresee it. Now, the matchup that we're all looking forward to watching, right? Let's just be real. The one matchup that's left in the playoffs, probably from here on, unless we get a Lakers-Celtics matchup, that we all really give a damn about. And this is, the one that we have the most agendas to push. Legacies are on the line. Toxicity's in the air. Twitter's a war zone, Lakers Warriors. And I'm gonna just come out and say it. Y'all know who the fuck I'm picking, right? Y'all know who I'm picking. I'm not picking against them. It's a matter of how long it's gonna take us to beat the dog shit out of them. And I'm gonna say it's gonna take us 6 games. Here's why. I don't even gotta look at this. I don't even gotta look at the notes. I'm about to speak to you from the heart. Here's why. Number 1, we not the Kings. We're not the Kings. What I mean by we're not the Kings, we're not small. We defend. We rebound. Let me say it again. We're not small. We defend. And we rebound. Okay? Sabonis will not be waiting on you when you drive in that paint. Okay? Anthony Davis is waiting on you when you drive in that paint. You will not be getting chased around by De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter. Okay? Jared Vanderbilt will be chasing you around. Rui Hachimura will be chasing you around, contesting you. And on some occasions, Anthony Davis is going to be running out at you. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3. I'm not saying Kevin Looney, Kevon Looney, whatever the fuck Looney, won't grab rebounds. He's going to grab rebounds simply because he's the only big man on the team. Who else is going to grab the rebound? But he will not, I repeat, he will not grab 10 rebounds in possession against the Lakers. Not against that front court. LeBron, AD, Rui, Jared, hell, Wenyen Gabriel. We have too many long, athletic, and willing rebounders on this team to get dominated on the glass the way the Kings got dominated on the glass in Game 7. Alright? Now I know what you're thinking. Who's going to guard Steph Curry? Who's going to chase Klay Thompson? Hell, who the fuck going to guard Poole, right? Well, for one, Jordan Poole's going to guard himself because he's fucking terrible. That's number 1. Number 2, nobody's going to guard Stephen Curry. It's Stephen Curry. I don't understand why that is ever even a talking point when we talk about greatness and when we talk about teams and how they match up and how we're going to do it. Guys, who's going to guard LeBron and AD? Who's ever going to guard LeBron AD? Nobody. It's a given. In some matches, that matters more than others, like this one, because the Warriors are so small that it's literally, if Looney gets in foul trouble, AD might get 50. AD might get 50. Hell, I got AD getting 30 a game anyway. Okay? Who's going to guard LeBron? Who's ever going to guard LeBron? Right? It's a matter of if he makes or misses the shot. Who's going to guard Steph? Who's ever going to guard Steph? Nobody's chasing him around the screens. That's what makes him so damn great. It's a matter of if he makes or misses the shot. Whether or not we win this series or a given game is not dependent upon those things. It is dependent upon the battles within the battle. The offensive glass, right? The 50-50 balls, the hustle plays. Whether or not Jordan Poole decides to show up and play basketball for them. Whether or not Andrew Wiggins is making shots. We're probably going to leave Draymond Green by himself. Whether or not he can make us pay for that. Whether or not Moses Moody can come in, Gary Payton II can come in and give them valuable minutes for stretches of the game. Whether or not Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves' first-round performances were flukes or not. Whether or not D'Angelo Russell can find his rhythm early and sustain it throughout the series. Whether or not the Crypto Reno crowd can get the Warriors out of their element early. Which, I will give them this, probably won't happen. They're too battle tested for that. But the Chase Center is not Oracle. So, miss me with the, yeah, y'all got to come to Chase Center for the first 2 games. Okay, I'm fine with that. Because the thing about playing in California, our fans travel. Every game will be a home game. I promise you. Half the stadium will be Warriors fans. Half the stadium will be Lakers fans. Y'all were better off saying that the Kings had home court advantage with those beat LA chants. That is no longer a factor. That is no longer a factor. Now, with all of that said, it does depend on coaching, which, to you guys' surprise, I don't think is that big of a gap. I don't think Steve Kerr is that good of a coach. His rotations, or matter of fact, let me not say rotations, his substitutions are as bad as Darvin Ham's rotations are, so they cancel out. Steph will have them on a 10-0 run and then go sit down for the next 5 or 6 minutes and fuck everything up. And let me tell you, in a close game, I'm betting on us 10 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10. Because Steve Kerr is going to draw the play up for somebody not named Stephen Curry, and I can live with that every time. On the flip side, in a close game, LeBron James is the coach. And he's going to make the right play. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Right? With that being said, I do think, like I said, in the case of the Nuggets-Sun series, greatness, there is something to be said about greatness, and greatness can win you a few games. There will be games where Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins all come out and they just can't miss a shot. They just can't miss a shot. Crowds into it or not into it, depending on where we are. They can't miss. We can't hit. They run away with the game. We pack it up. We say on to the next one. But I don't believe the Warriors are equipped to beat us in a close game, which most of these will be. Look no further than the regular season matchups. Now, granted, I haven't referenced those earlier in this section of the video simply because all of those matchups have asterisks next to them. The first loss we had in the season opener was pre-deadline. That was when we had bum-ass niggas on our team. Every game after that had some combination of LeBron James, Andrew Wiggins, somebody missing from the game. So we're going to throw those away. Lots to figure out this series. It's going to be a very interesting series. And I'm going to be here for every game. But just me speaking based on what I see at face value, the Warriors are just not good enough to beat us. They're not a better team than us. They're not. You're going to feel how you feel, and it is what it is. But they're not a good enough team to beat us. Steph's going to have to pull a lot of magic out of his ass. And he's going to 1 or 2 times. But those other 4 is when he doesn't have it, that's when you lose. And all we need is 4. and then we'll be seeing the Nuggets in the next round. And that's a whole different conversation. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, enjoy the second round. I'm going to be here reacting, giving my thoughts. And we're going to see if these predictions come to fruition. I might do more videos like this in the future where I'm just talking ball, not going on niggas, not really, letting my other side of my personality shine through. The side that truly loves and appreciates basketball for what it is, understanding the matchups, understanding the circumstances surrounding it all. Especially in playoff time, I might do more of this. I might not. Who knows, especially depending upon if we win or not. If we lose, fuck y'all, fuck YouTube. I'm gone. But yeah, video is already 26 minutes long. I got a lot of editing to do. So we're going to wrap it up right now. Let me know what y'all think is going to happen with these series. If y'all agree, y'all disagree, and we can talk about it. But yeah, let's get on out of here.